bye week in the rear view. How'd you guys kind of attack that?
Just attacked it with trying to get some bodies, feeling a little better. Of course, Hank been dealing with some things, and then you got Sala with the toe and things of that nature, and just trying to get them, to the best, feeling the best that they could possibly feel coming out of the bye week, and just kind of shaping back, going to some technique matters, and just ironing some things out that may not be a big problem, a huge problem, but just as a coach, you want to just self-evaluate your group and the offense and how we can detail it and just make it a little better. So
obviously, Saul came out of that game after I think it was his second carry or so.
Yeah.
But what's he dealing with right now? What's he working?
It's just his toe. It's just his toe. I don't know. Kind of on the bottom end of his foot and stuff like that. It's just hard for him to kind of like push off right now. But it's just a toe problem. He's out running again, so he'll be back soon, like real soon.
Like this weekend soon, or?
Well, probably be a decision that we'll have to all go in and see if it's worth like putting him back out there and stuff like that. But he'll be ready to go either way.
And obviously with Hank's performance against Lafayette after a season of so much struggle in the backfield, what was that like for you guys to really break through?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's been a struggle, because there's other facets of like the game that we've inserted ourselves to. I talk to everybody all the time about like the technique and effort part, and if you'll break the game down, we haven't given up a sack. To me, we are one of the best units in pass pro. Like, if you go back and look at the way that we protect the quarterback, like, I think a lot of folks will see that we spend time doing that, you know what I mean? And then we ultimately just do what we're asked to do, But I feel like, even going all the way back to Fresno, I feel like we established ourselves, for what we can be and what we can do and how we can help this program and how we can help this team. It's just, you got to call a name. You call a name, we finna get to it, and I think as everybody can see, that sparks everybody else around us, because we declare to be that type unit to where we want to make sure that everybody knows that this is the way that culture goes. So run the football, let's get it chugging, everybody else gets excited, and then ultimately more things come off of that by establishing the run game.
What edge does Bari really add for you guys in the run game, and how does that help kind of alleviate your backs?
I mean, it helps a bunch. When you talk about the techniques that defenses use, the closed C gap and the closed B gap and stuff like that, they kind of chase it from the back end. Having Bari softens all that up. So now you got to have 2 to 3 guys, or maybe at least 2 that's checking the quarterback. That's responsible for him coming out any scheme that we may have. And so you try to get him involved, and he was able to do some of that stuff versus Lafayette, and you see kind of what it opened up a little bit. So I think it's important to have somebody like a Bar that when you want to get your run game going, just to have an element like him.
And just kind of feeding off of that, how much does that kind of change the scheme that you guys go into as far as that pass pro protection? Because he's going to move around back there.
Right.
So how does that change things?
Well, it's rules are rules, and that's what I tell our guys. Rules are rules. So no matter who's back there playing quarterback and stuff like that, when it comes to pass pro, it's just the design of like the element of like knowing ball-me-man relationship. You know what I'm saying? So we have to know where we fit according to the play call. Okay, so every pass has like a lunch point. So you have to know where that lunch point is and how you fit into that ball-me-man relationship. And so from a technical standpoint, you know how to operate from there, whether it be core technique, whether it be edge technique, but just knowing where that lunch point is, you know how to just kind of maneuver amongst that. As far as the run game, it doesn't change as much. Like I said, it just softens defenses up, So zone read is zone read, So now we have an element that where we can pull if they're not, paying attention to him, and he can, get on down and do his thing. So in that fashion, it doesn't change much either. So.
What have you kind of seen out of this Washington State defense?
I mean, fast, physical. They fly around. They got 2 good linebackers. So I mean, you look at the games that they've played, and they played Ole Miss hard, and they played Virginia hard and stuff like that. And I mean, we got our work cut out, you know. So we got to come to work. We got to be locked in, mindful of what's in front of us, and just go out and get the job done.
Obviously, it wasn't your backfield last year, but it was a big upset win over Washington State when they came here. What's kind of the energy in the building right now? This one,
the energy in the building is, shoot, man, like, let's go get number 2. You know, why stop here? Why stop now? You know, we feel like we've got some pieces in the right place and stuff like that, and so why stop now? Just go and attack, and let's keep doing what we did versus Lafayette. Not that we wasn't doing it before, but we felt like we just kind of collectively all just did our jobs, just came together as one, and it just felt good. And so you just roll with that momentum that was kind of created during Lafayette, and just keep rolling with that momentum. And just to continue to do your job. So we know that they're a good defense, they're a good team, they're a good unit, and they're going to come in here ready to play because you're always going to get everybody's best shot. You know, so why not get our best shot? So therefore, we're going to be prepared. We're going to know our assignments. We're going to know when that ball snaps. You got to play hard. So that's why we try to reduce this thing to technique and effort, because I don't want them thinking when that ball snaps. So just knowing everything that goes on, and I tell them a lot, just be enamored with the game plan. Just be enamored with the game plan. Be where you got to be, and just reduce this game to technique and effort.
Right, and you mentioned riding that momentum. We had a bye week right in the middle of that momentum. How do you guys keep that going, and did that bye week come at a good time for you guys in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think it came at a great time because, like I said, you want to kind of scale back. You want to kind of self-evaluate some things, and you want to just reflect on some things that we've been putting together and putting the product out there. So that gives us time not only to get their bodies in a better shape, but it gives us time to go back and reflect and self-evaluate our team. You get what I'm saying? And so we're able to sit down and we're able to make slight corrections or, small corrections to their game so they can go back out and finish what's in front of them. And what's in front of us right now is Washington State. So therefore, I feel like, it couldn't have came at a better time, So they was able to rest up, get their bodies back prepared, able to break down some film and get, some stuff worked out. And so I feel like now we're ready to go.
I want to ask you about your 2 freshmen. We've seen Corday in a couple looks, and Skylar's dressed for the past couple of games.
Right.
And, what have they been doing behind the scenes? How are you feeling about how
It's the standard is the standard, baby. In that room, the standard is the standard. They know. Even if their name was called upon, if they hit that field, the standard is the standard. I should see the same thing that Anthony Hankerson should do, a Sala should do, Cornell Hatcher should do. I should see the same approach. Nothing should change, and they live by that, and they understand that. So I guess when we say that we want guys or we want people and the fans to come and look at that unit and say, that's the culture that's in that building. That's how it's supposed to be done. That's the reason why you can look there and you can say, shit, I mean, they get it done, because they understand that the standard is the standard. And those 2, when you speak on those freshmen, they're going to be pretty good too. They bring something to the table as well, Skylar is big and physical. He gonna be a big old boy, man. He gonna be just like his daddy. And then Corday has some swag with him. He has a little savvy within his game, and he's gonna have the ability to make people miss. He's going to be able to separate tough between the tackles and things of that nature. And then he's going to be able to add to the pass game. He can catch it out of the backfield. He can wiggle. He can move. And then, pass pro, that's just my baby. That comes from me being an O-line coach at Texas. So therefore, we go pass protect. We go do that. And so there's no way around it. So, but, yeah, they going to be pretty good.
You talk about pass pro a lot. Do you have maybe an instance in your brain of like a favorite way a back really fit the pass pro game for you in your history here or just in your careers, or one that sticks out in your brain?
Well, again, just having the ability to teach the technique. Like I said, we call it core technique. We call it edge technique, coming from the outsides, and core just being on the inside and stuff like that. So just, being able to decipher both or differentiate both and stuff like that, and just keep building like the techniques. It's called so much when it comes. And if I sat down with you guys, y'all be, wow, I didn't know it all, came with this, to me, it's all the same. Al-J Henderson at Buffalo, he was great. He stick his face and hands in there, man. And Hank, he'll definitely stick his face and hands in there. So I wouldn't I wouldn't outcast one more than the other, you know, but it's just what I mean. It's what it is. What it is.
Sure.
You know, the standard is the standard. They go get it done. If they can't get it done, they ain't gonna be out there.
Sure.
You know, and that's just what it is. And I tell them all the time, and they'll laugh at this. I tell them, I ain't trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you, but you go do what I ask you to do, and you go do it well, and you go do it the right way every single time. And if you can't do it the right way, then we go back to the drawing board, and I got to reflect on myself first, because maybe I'm not getting through to them, right? And that comes from my background of being in the classroom, because one size don't fit all. The way I'm saying it to them may not make sense, so I got to reflect on myself first, so that I can get through to those kids. You get what I'm saying? But the thing is, when you're good at what you do, you find ways to get through to all of them. And if you look at them, that's the product you got. That's why you can talk good about them, and they can do what they do. You got me? So that's what we do.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate
it. 2 weeks ago, you know, how was that?
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I was put on DSA, the DSA list, and just amazing what like hard work can do and pay off. And I mean, it's showing out there.
What was the injury you were working with, and you know, what was kind of the process of getting back from the DSA thing?
The DSA was the designated student athlete, so they were trying to cut down the roster. They didn't end up doing it this year, but it was just like a thing they were trying to do.
Gotcha.
So they're gonna do it like next year, cut the roster down to like I think like 115 or 105.
What'd you kind of make of the game? What was it like finally getting that run game going?
I mean, it was great. I love inside zone. I love like duo. I love all that stuff. I just love like Stabuda, our coach always says.
Now, how impactful do you think Jabari's dual threat ability was in opening up the second half run game for you guys?
I mean, it was nice. Like I'd be like blocking, and I just see my linebacker go out. And I'm just like, oh, Bari's gone. And he's like just down the field. It was nice having some big plays and just working.
What was it like when he kind of came into the huddle and took over there in the second half?
I mean, it was nice. I mean, we always practice with him. Not much different. Like maybe a little cadence, but that's about it. Just the offense.
We've seen you rep at guard a few times, and now you've kind of been repping at center.
Mm-hmm.
What's been kind of that position switch been like for you, and are there any kind of intricacies to snapping that you've come across?
So in high school, I only played guard and tackle, and then they switched me over to center my first year here. So I've been like kind of getting used to snapping. The first year was pretty rough. Coaches did not like me when I was on scout team. I messed up the snap a lot, but we got that dial now. I've been having some pretty good snaps, and so it wasn't that much trouble.
Is there maybe a guy in the pros you look up to or watch that you've kind of gleaned from?
I don't really watch a lot of pro football, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be like Tolly. He was here my first year, and it's just like inspiring to see him like just being amazing out there.
And you know, talk about that a bit more. You said people, you know, hated you on scout team. You know, what's that kind of process like of having to learn that on the fly?
I mean, it was all right. I got moved to the towel, because I kept on snapping it over his head or like to the running back. So like mostly the coaches were mad at me and like some of the players because we just had to rep it. But I mean, you just gotta learn. Just work after practice. I did it like every practice. Just snapped it like 50 times or so.
Okay. Anything else? Thanks, Ryan.
How were you able to kind of capitalize on the bye week as far as recovery, mental recovery, physical recovery, and as far as the overall team? How were you guys able to capitalize on this bye week?
Yeah, obviously recovery is a big deal in college football, and just getting in with the guys, getting a little extra film in, doing cold tubs, contrast, whatever, just to get ready for the next week.
Now, do you feel the bye came at like the perfect time of the season? Maybe you guys needed that bye week with how the season was going, or since you coming off that first win, you kind of want to build off that momentum. Do you think that bye week came at the right time?
Yeah, I think the bye week came at a fine time. You know, we got some guys banged up, and I think it'll put us in a good position to recover and get another win.
Did you get to watch your high school quarterback play this past weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
What's that like, you know, seeing a guy from your hometown get out there too?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, I saw him get a touchdown out there, so it was just pretty cool to see a hometown guy get out there.
For sure. When you took your offer here, in your wildest dreams, did you expect you'd be a long snapper?
No, I didn't. I mean, I came here to play outside linebacker, obviously, and the spot proposed itself, so I mean, just take full advantage of that.
Can you kind of walk us through how those conversations kind of initially started and what it's been like, kind of doing that now?
Yeah, so I had a little offer from Oregon State to long snap, and it was my sophomore year before recruiting picked up for me from some other schools, and then some guys got wind of that and just had to fill the spot. Yeah.
For sure. What's kind of what was the biggest thing about it that you had to kind of, maybe knock the rust off of or remind yourself of?
Honestly, I think the main thing is it's just more of a mental battle than anything. You go out there, I mean, you mess up, all eyes are on you. I mean, get those first couple weeks of snapping and you kick the rust off pretty quick, but it's just a mental game.
You've obviously figured it out, but
Yeah.
I imagine that was a hard thing to do, kind of
Yeah.
in that Tech game, that Fresno State game.
Yeah.
How'd you kind of work through it? And
I mean, it was a tough situation to be thrown into. I only had like 2 days of practice going into it, but capitalize on it, keep getting better,
so are you just a long snapper now, or you want to go back to the linebacker?
No, I'm still playing scout team, obviously, because of the number, but I'm still playing outside linebacker and just doing both.
For sure. What's it like, being the snapper on game day and then being an outside linebacker and giving them scout team looks and
Yeah.
just kind of pitching in?
I mean, I'm just here to do anything for the team, so I'll obviously take that position at long snapper, but I gotta still do my job at outside linebacker for the scout team and all that.
Now, how different is it, right? You go from being a long snapper to a linebacker. How different is it going from initiating contact to having to be the one to brace for that contact?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like to bring that outside linebacker power to long snapper and get down the field and make some tackles, so I think they kind of mesh together a little bit.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.